No fucking way. Are we gonna get Netero in the NGL? Are we getting Netero coming to the NGL to take on the Chimera Ants? You gotta be shitting me. What's up, guys? Jughead's Journey here. What? Ooh! I just got a big shipment of action figures and figurines that I ordered a while back, and they just came in, so I want to show that first. Giant Jiraiya figure. So sick. Standing next to him, Ichigo. Bleach, one of my favorite animes. Also sick. To keep on Bleach, action figure-wise, my two favorite Soul Reapers. Two of my favorite characters, action figures, not figurines. First, Renji with his gigantic Zanpakuto. But my boy, who can you assume I'm gonna bring out next? My boy Kenpachi. Took forever to get these two to pose the way I want and to get them to stand up. That's the only thing that's annoying about action figures, is how long it takes these guys to pose correctly. And then what else? Oh, literally sitting on my bookshelf, DBZ Goku. I just have him in a sitting pose because I don't know what else to do with him right now. So he's just chilling on my bookshelf. Non-anime related, I got Spider-Man chilling on my guitar over there. I can't bring him down, so I will zoom in. But to go with Spider-Man, hanging on my guitar on the wall over here, took me forever to do, but I thought it would be so cool. Dr. Octopus hanging from one of my guitars. Took forever to figure out how to do this, but in my mind, my imagination, I thought it'd be sick, and I was not wrong. This is badass. I want to buy the Gon and Killua HH Figure Arts action figures that come out this month. They're $70 each. It is gonna be worth it. I need those. But now that I showed off my toys as a grown adult man, I don't care. Welcome back to our Let's Watch Hunter x Hunter series. Today we're going to be watching episode 83, Inspiration to Evolve. Have no idea what to do with that title, and I like that. I like when the title does not give away the entire episode, and I can go in wondering what I'm about to watch. So, without any further ado, tune in and watch alongside with me during my full uncut reaction, and then stay for my deep analysis discussion afterwards. So, Hunter x Hunter, episode 83 in 3, 2, 1, let's watch. Again, I love a title that doesn't give the plot away right away. Oh, why are we at the Hunters Association? Oh, the Hunter Association has finally learned about the Chimera Ants? How did they get the information? What is that gonna mean? Who are these people? Is this like the G7, like in real life? The leaders of the world's... No fucking way! Are we gonna get Netero in the NGL? Are we getting Netero coming to the NGL to take on the Chimera Ants? You gotta be shitting me. What episode was I talking about that I'm never going to be able to see Netero's abilities? Oh my god. Leaving the Hunters Association to take the blame. Oh my god. Wait. Inspiration to Evolve? Oh, that's not cryptic. That's the Chimera Ants, now that they know how to become Nen Users. Duh, they're gonna evolve. They're gonna have Rammot, you know, do what Gon did to him. They're all gonna stand in line. Hit me as hard as you can. Okay, let me go back. I have ADHD brain right now. They're going over the hierarchy, which we kind of already know. There's the queen. The king will replace the queen. Royal guards we haven't seen yet. Squadron leaders we know. They have their officers. Oh, under the squadron leaders are captains. And then you have the soldiers and the grunts. Yeah, the king will take the top spot, and I assume the queen will be shunned away. Yeah. So they'll be second in command. The squadron leaders report directly to the queen. And she focuses on... Oh, okay. So the queen remains in the castle periodically, giving birth to... There will be multiple kings. Okay. The kings travel and mate with different organisms. Whoa. Okay. My brain was not, you know, computing that. Well, we know where else is this arc gonna go if not one king gets born. Is that gonna be Kite? We need to get the fuck out of here! Who is that? The punitive forces. I can't. I thought she was about to crush the bug. I still can't believe. Not until I see it and I see him walking into the NGL am I gonna believe that I'm about to see Netero actually in action. Here's Rammot. They're all gonna be intimidated. He's top brass now. I was saying in my discussion last episode, Rammot really has no reason to keep up with the hierarchy and to continue taking orders. They're smart though, they're putting it together immediately. And what did I just say 2 minutes ago? Do to me what that kid did to you. And just like, come on, hit me. Oh, I didn't even realize I had a Hunter x Hunter shirt on. We are capable of anything that humans are. I would love to see, like, Peggy become a Nen user, and instead of combat, it's intelligence focused, and a different aspect of Nen usage than we've seen. But just because they're Nen users, they don't know what, like, I want to see the categories. I want to see what enhancer ability he'll come up with. Shit in a brick. Oh, he hit him in the face? I thought he was going for a gut punch. Message from Hagia, the tiger. Right? Yeah, that's the tiger. Did they find the dead body? I keep forgetting they can speak telepathically. What the hell was that? Oh, Jesus Christ. But nobody, the only people who are gonna be Nen users are the people in the hive. Colt, Rammot. The issue I see happening though, which we saw in the factory, is Gon's emotional responses and his hesitations. Was that Gamabuntu? Or Gamabunta? Are we in Naruto? That looks like a Pokemon. That looks like Gamabunta, or what's the other one's name? Naruto, Gamakichi? Uh-oh. They're about to swarm in on... Oh, that's... Kite looking straight up. Like, you're not catching us by surprise. But they're all weak. I want to see Killua kill some more. I want to see Gon kill some more. I want to see Gon not hesitate. Last episode, Killua said, no hesitation. Gon needs to say the same thing. Let's decide order and methodology. You have 3 choices. We're going one-on-one matches? You're an ant colony. This is... Y'all are too human. Y'all are too human. This is unlike you. You're completely losing the traits of your original biology. They're gonna choose the first one. We have no problem taking you on one-on-one. Oh, another one with the mask. Kite's probably like, yeah, we're gonna take him on. Yeah, we couldn't have asked for a better deal. One-on-one fights with their kid. Gon, go. Yes! No, but seriously, like, they're losing all their ant traits. They've consumed, the queen has consumed so many humans that they've become too human for their own good. Ants don't fight one-on-one. They're a colony. But they've become so human, they have egos and pride. And they want to show off. And they want one-on-ones. Now I want to see how Gon is different today than he was last episode. What I said last discussion. Gon's enemies will weaponize his empathy, his moment of hesitation, or his emotional responses. Gon wants to save people, and he humanizes too much. Even these creatures. Yes, yes, let's listen to that again. What did I just say? Ants have inherited individualism from humans. They've lost the unity that's characteristic of ants. Yup. Precisely. This is so absurd. This is like Fight Club. Is that an armadillo? Oh, is this gonna be like Trick Tower all over again? Deathmatch? How's Gon gonna respond? Go! Stop it with that shit. These are killer Ants. Gon doesn't want to kill. Well, fuck, man. They all want to kill you. I'm not saying you gotta become a monster or a cold-hearted killer, but there's no need to die? Well, you're humanizing these too much. These are beasts that need to be exterminated. He thinks you're trash as a human. Oh, I forgot armadillos can roll up into a armored ball. Can Gon puncture that armor? They don't have any abilities. They can't do anything else. Oh! I don't think that's gonna phase Gon at all. Yeah, the other humans. Remember those, the actual humans. This is a bug. Also, just imagine fighting this, like, bug animal creature that's speaking to you. How creepy and terrifying that would be. Because we have fun doing so. All of you have been saying that. Because it's fun, yeah. Now use this as fuel to show no mercy to this guy. This is like Heaven's Arena mixed with Trick Tower all over again. Is he gonna smash him to the ground? Or what's he gonna do? This? Or this? Oh, he's doing that, right? Compared to Razor's spikes. This is nothing. Oh, he's gonna pop him like a grape. This is now Gon's first confirmed kill. Ruthless. And that's funny because last episode, I even commented how Gon still doesn't have his first confirmed kill yet. Kite finished off Centipede with the shot to the head. The very next episode, he gets his first kill. Killua, please. Use your electricity. You should be recharged again. Thunderbolt somebody. Let me guess. Elephant. No. A rhino. And a rhino has thick hide. Would electricity still... It would still kill him. Oh! He's not gonna like that. There it is. There it is. Wait for it. That's the line. I was waiting for someone to say trash. I'm nothing like the trash over there. You all have to, like, as soon as Gon sees or hears, like, the lack of, like, camaraderie and friendship and, like, there's something has to you know, hit him in the brain to realize these are not like us. These are not humans. Kite's confident. But why do I have such a bad feeling? Uh-oh. That's not good. There's a gnawing anxiety that won't go away. I don't like that foreshadowing. Oh, unless he's thinking about the Chimera Ants that are now Nen Users. I'm just getting a crotch shot full screen right now. The natural abilities, like a rabbit, like a shrike, speed, agility. That's why I'm saying Rammot's an enhancer. Oh god, is that Pockle? Him, it's Pockle. Fuck. He's not dead yet. He's still alive? Ooh, Rhythm Echo. Hell yeah. I love seeing his assassin stuff mixed with his Nen stuff. Especially things we haven't seen in such a long time. I don't know if that's gonna pierce his hide. Nope. Rhino hide. Electricity, though. Nope, the electricity hurts. Oh, little by little. Oh, right into his heart. And he's gonna send electricity straight into his fucking heart. Oh. I thought it was gonna be electricity. Yeah, even captains can be dispatched easily with Nen. Please be something new. Please be something new. And again, my theory about crazy slots. The clown is gonna give him what he needs, not what he wants. Holy shit! Oh! Kite's looking like a fucking Dark Souls boss. I have PTSD right now. Oh my god. This is the weapon he needs. He's gonna take them all out at the same time. Oh my god. That scythe is sick. Oh my god, yeah. He's gonna do a Dark Souls boss sweep with the scythe. He's gonna take them all out at once. And again, because that's the weapon he needs for the situation. It's not random. The clown chooses the best weapon for the moment. It's only random to Kite. Silent Waltz, Grim Reaper's Dance. Oh, holy shit! He created a tornado. Oh my god. This is like Kenpachi when he holds his Zanpakuto with both hands. And they all got sliced in half. But that wasn't their head. It was Gamabunta's head. Oh my god. At the moment of death, they all remember? That's dark. Or he remembered at least. Like, he's technically died twice with genetic memory. He's dying a second time. The scythe can be... So that's why it's so powerful. Because the scythe can only be used with that technique. With the gigantic sweep. And he has to use that ability, that technique with it, in order for it to go back into his inventory. Again, that's why the clown chose it. Because that's a perfect technique to take out 50 Chimera Ants at the same time. He still won't answer the question. They asked him that last episode and he didn't answer him. They asked him again today. Still won't answer. Yeah, Gon, change your attitude. Yeah, if you start to sympathize with the enemy, you won't be able to handle what's coming. I have no sympathy for bugs that call each other trash. But what about ones that don't call each other that? That's a dangerous viewpoint to have. Because these ants are getting more human. They are bound to run into ants who do care for their fellow comrades. Like a Colt, for example. And do have those kinds of human traits. And that is when Gon's going to hesitate. And he can't hesitate. That's dangerous. What would you do if one of those bugs cared for... Yeah, exactly. Kite going out toward the Chimera Ant. I was hoping to see Colt become a Nen user. Oh, there's Hagio. What's happening with him? And we still don't have the Royal Guards yet either. So much still has to happen. Now this arc has officially taken off the runway. 81, 82, 83, back to back to back fire. All gas, no brakes. This arc is officially moving. Now, the Chimera Ants conflict is officially a global event too. The Hunters Association has learned about the Chimera Ants from Killua's survey team. Again, Ponzu is a hero. She died getting that information out via her bees. Her information reached Kite, Gon, and Killua, who relayed it to the rest of the survey team, and the survey team relayed it to the Hunters Association, requesting backup immediately. They await the world leader's decision on how to handle the Chimera Ants. So, I'm going to go into a whole big thing about the Hunters Association now. The Hunters Association and Netero still have to answer to a larger entity above them. I don't know why I thought of the Hunters Association as like this enormous thing on top of the hierarchical ladder that is practically as powerful as any nation or government or whatever. But I guess that's still the case, right? They work together with the governments, with the needs of the world, kind of like a big brother. Nations and governments and whatever rely on the Hunters Association. I would not the other way around. They take orders, or I don't even know if they're orders, as in like the Hunters Association is not a totally independent, freestanding organization that don't need anybody. Like, does the Hunters Association and does Netero, they must accept, no question? Or could Netero say no if he wishes, you know? Or like, are they effectively a department or branch of some world organization, like a part of the UN or something, where if called upon, you are obligated to say yes? Can you say no? Netero and the Hunters Association, do I want to say the word beholden? Are they beholden or not to this 5 or so person world leader roundtable we see gathered together? One of them on the phone given the mission to immediately exterminate all Chimera Ants, whatever means necessary, to Netero himself. Kind of the G7 in real life that we have. They don't tell Netero or the association how to proceed, how to run their operations, their missions, or how to successfully complete it, but complete the mission. That's it. But they do take mission orders from them. And Netero, it feels like they have to accept. One, because who else can do it? And because you don't want to tarnish the relationship that you have. And Netero understands that the Hunters Association will have to be the fall guy and take the blame for the Chimera Ant's destruction in the first place. So do it right. And it was just really odd to me how the Hunters Association, which is not directly affiliated to any one government or international organization, it's not like some version of the UN or anything, but odd how like they bear any kind of responsibility here with the Chimera Ant threat when they're the only ones who can solve it. They have to take the blame for some crazy ass ant species washing up on shore from some godforsaken island, godforsaken continent for somewhere, and the shores the queen washed up on just so happen to be like the one and only country with no technology or connection to the outside world. Like, god damn it. The Hunters Association, independent, but not fully independent, non-governmental, but heavily governmentally involved, like also half mercenary group, half like whatever contract group. I guess they don't have to answer to the G5 or whatever the Round Table of Leaders is called, but the world is at stake here. And I assume the Hunters Association just really never says no to a mission or a contract or favor, let alone something like this, especially if it's coming from world leaders calling you on the phone. And even though they're a non-governmental organization, you are a professional organization. You have a reputation to uphold. If you're hired for a job or asked to do something and you accept, you're expected to fulfill that contract perfectly, in spades. They are the best at what they do. And what they do is pretty much in everything and everything under the sun, because there's hunters of all kinds. So the Hunters Association isn't automatically being blamed for everything. They're just saying, like, if you fuck this up, if this gets out of hand and you're not able to handle this and complete the mission, if anything goes wrong, or there's a tragic, massive loss of life, things like that, if information gets out about about the threat that the world's potentially dealing with here, the G5 leaders, that's what I'm going to call them, will use the Hunters Association as the fall guy. Y'all will take the blame. What's the point in hiring the association for a contract if you fail at the contract? So I have to think about the Hunters Association differently. That's what I was trying to get at. I have to think about the Hunters Association differently. They're non-governmental, technically. I mean, the most obvious, they have their own chairman, they have their own charter, they have their own internal rules. They kind of operate outside of normal society. They're not a ministry or some sort of like UN agency, but the Hunters Association does seem to be deeply embedded in the web of sovereign power. Which is why I then asked, so is their autonomy conditional? Or also imagine, like, would anyone be able to go against the Hunters Association, the Hunters? Kind of like an X-Men situation. I couldn't tell because the scene is so dark on my screen. If there's 5 members or 6 members at this round table, I can't tell. I'm just going to call them the G5 or the G6. I swear there were 6 chairs, so I don't know. But I don't know if I saw a person in each chair. I don't know if it's the G5 or the G6. I'm blind. But again, it's kind of like just how we have the G7, the G8, the G11 summits in real life. The most dominant nations, the most dominant world powers making decisions together. One of them orders Netero to eradicate the species. These world leaders, they're not calling up on their own armies. They're calling up on the Hunters Association. Netero retains freedom over how to operate that task, I think. But the framing and the potential political fallout, that's in the Round Table's hands. And seeing Netero personally dealing with the Round Table, having a direct line to them, that shows how the association has global standing. You know, they're in the plumbing, they're in the pipes, they're in the walls of this overarching intergovernment power. And I would have loved to explore this more. That's what I'm trying to get at too. This type of stuff, this political intrigue, foreign affairs, the machinations of just this, I would have loved to explore this more. The messy politics, the messy foreign affairs stuff, where the Hunters Association sits in the world. I would love more of this. It's been shown so little. Even like the first time in forever, we really get to see hunter privileges be used. Most recently, entering the NGL in the first place. But remember at the end of the exam, they were told all these privileges you have, all these advantages you get for having a hunter license, but we never really get to see any of it. The very fact that the license does have special privileges I'm putting together is precisely because they're independent and because governments recognize them. You know, you get access the average citizen never will. You can cross borders, enter restricted zones, access classified information. That would all normally require state clearance. And that only works if everyone agrees to honor the credentials of the license. And I just never thought about the networks of understanding, and I just never thought about the network in general between the Hunters Association and every nation, every government on the planet. And it's kind of like a leash in a way. Kind of like a you scratch our backs, we'll scratch yours situation. We'll all give you unfettered access almost anywhere and everywhere in the world. And in doing so, we get to lean on y'all. We get to lean on the association when we need you. In exchange for giving all y'all, all of you hunters, immense freedom, we get a reliable pool of you. We get a reliable pool of Nen user specialists to call on whenever we need, whenever we please. That's the dynamic we got going on. And then, moving on, the scene where the survey team is going over the hierarchy of the Chimera Ants, that was, I don't know, that was kind of stupid and pointless. Like, we didn't need this explained to us, I feel like. You know, we either got the gist of it ourselves naturally watching the show, or, I don't know, just show it as it occurs. Like when the Royal Guards and the King is born, you could just show us in that moment the transfer of power and the transfer of service. I don't think we need this 3 to 5 minute, I don't know how long, breakdown explaining the most basic hierarchy pyramid. Once the king is born, the hierarchy within the nest will change. Duh. Right now, the queen's at the top. 3 royal guards directly below her. They're not even born yet, but I assume depending who's born first, they serve and protect her while the king still develops, and then the king is born, and then they ditch the queen and serve the king. Below the royal guards are the squadron leaders. With no royal guards, the squadron leaders are second to the queen, and they report directly to her. That's already happening. Each squadron leader has their own captains who themselves lead their own soldiers, their own grunts. We know this already. That's what I'm trying to get at. Once the king is born, royal guards no longer serve the queen, serve the king. Squadron leaders move up, report directly to the queen, which, like I just said, they've been doing that the whole time since the royal guards aren't born yet. So pretty much nothing changes here. The queen's duties will be directing soldiers. She will remain in the hive castle, periodically giving birth to new kings. So she will continuously require sustenance. The only really interesting piece of information here was explaining how each new king that gets born will venture out and travel far and wide, whatever, to mate with different organisms and start a new hive. So a Chimera Ant king apparently can mate across different species somehow, and the offspring of the king's mating will always be queens. So you could have skipped all the easy common sense stuff and just been like, okay, yeah, we need to kill the queen right away because one king is bad enough. She can keep birthing multiple kings who they're going to travel far and wide to spread the population. The other interesting part about that is it lets you try to piece together where the hell this current queen came from and how or why she got so damn big to the point humans could be on the menu. And so it's like, how did this current queen get here? How is it? We know this is how the current queen was born now, somewhere else on the planet, wherever the Chimera Ants come from. I'm calling it, some horrifying Skull Island type place. Some island somewhere, some fucking, I don't know, mysterious continent, land out there. We need a Christopher Columbus going to find this area. I don't even know if you want to go there. That's why I call it like a Skull Island. All these magical dominating species that are separate from the rest of the world. Ugh. There was a king, perhaps, because that's how you get a queen, who mated and bred what ended up being this queen. She grew up to be full size somehow. So things had to have been going okay over there, wherever. I don't know what the king would have mated with. She looked like a pure ant to me, but did have a human-looking mouth behind those mandibles, and her limbs, arms had fingers and looked like hands. So I don't know if they ate humans or not, or I don't know how that ant queen got so big, but. And she also looks like half xenomorph at the same time, which is also part human as well, technically. Then something must have happened where she had to escape or run away to survive. The hive got destroyed or something. Maybe there was an overthrow, which is what I'm predicting here with this hive. But I don't know if that's the case, because she would remember that and she would be very cautious about that repeating itself. But whatever happened, she wound up at sea. She lost a limb. That washed up somewhere. She washed up somewhere else. What I want to see is the breakdown of this hierarchy. I've been saying episode after episode, this arc, there are fractures, there are cracks, there is crumbling. Individuality and phagogenesis with human DNA will be the nest's downfall. And so, if you're spending time showing us and explaining to us the hierarchy of the ants, I hope it is so that we can watch it break down from there. What it should be on paper, and then what it is in reality. Officers and captains pursuing personal glory, having their fun, offshoot empires like what Yunju was trying to do in the factory, the royal ethos and the very idea of monarchy not fitting so nicely anymore with the insect instinct once human traits seeped in. I'm hoping we got this scene with, in my opinion, pointless charts and pointless dialogue, looking at pictures on laptop screens, showing us the hierarchy, because the next episodes are going to be about, to make us watch it all fail. That's what I want. Show us this because we're about to watch it fail. And then, once that's done, Spin gets the call that said the punitive forces' first wave was on its way. They'll arrive in 3 days. Punitive forces, what the hell is that? The punishment force? Is that a mistranslation? Or is that what they're called, actually? And then first wave? This is like some paramilitary shit. First wave of some mercenary extermination corps? Mission task force? Some sanctioned hit squad? Led by fucking Netero? You saw my reaction during the episode. Holy shit. I even said during the reaction, I didn't even think we'd ever get to see Netero in action. Because, logically, why would the chairman himself go out on any front line? Or what could possibly happen in the world that would require the chairman himself? But the Chimera Ants seem to be that very thing. There was some discussion I had a few episodes ago where I talked about how I won't be surprised if we never see Jing's abilities, for example. I doubt I'll ever get to see Nobunaga's abilities. We never see whoever else. And I included Netero. I said we'll probably never see Netero's abilities. That's why I freaked the hell out. Because to be the chairman of the entire Hunters Association, an enhancer, who knows what age he could be, how long he's trained. He has to be arguably the strongest, if not top 2, 3 strongest human Nen users on the planet. And you're telling me, teasing me, that he's getting in on this Chimera Ant action? Probably going to go up against the Royal Guards or the King himself? Like I said during my reaction, you got to be shitting me. And who's he going to assemble with him? That's the question that also gets me super hyped. It's the punitive force. It's not just him. And this is just the first wave too. You first have to go in and assess the situation with your own eyes. That's what Netero has to do, recon. And then you can call in the reinforcements. Who are Netero's friends? Netero's friends, colleagues, people he'd want with him in this roster, they gotta be strong too. And if they join up with Kite, Gon, and Killua, imagine that. Think back to the simple little game Gon and Netero played on the airship during the Hunter exam. And now 70-something episodes later, the two might fight alongside each other against the Chimera Ants. Bro, cinema, poetry. Inspiration to Evolve is the episode title. Colt, Rammot, and Peggy have learned how to manually, forcibly evolve themselves, take themselves to the next step, and to evolve themselves and their species. I don't know why I just sounded like Sean Connery saying species right there, but back in the hive, Colt deduces there must have been a catalyst event Rammot experienced to surge his life energy like they're witnessing right now. Since Colt was watching from a distance in the trees when Rammot was fighting Gon and Killua, he comes to the conclusion it must have been the punch Rammot took that forced the change within him. We know that as his aura nodes have been forcibly opened, Colt says they are capable of anything humans are capable of, and that includes Nen. So like I predicted, Colt has the idea to receive the same sort of aura-filled punch from Rammot that Rammot received from Gon. They're going to be forming a queue, an assembly line of Chimera Ants and squadron leaders ready to get aura punched. Colt asking to be punched by Rammot is scary in a way because you're watching non-human intelligence almost reach human intelligence, conduct hypotheses, conducting experiments, willing to go through pain for increased knowledge and wisdom. That's human stuff right there. choosing pain for knowledge and choosing pain for growth. Only humans do that. Nen is not just like a skill tree. Nen is a way of life and a way of being. They're changing their way of being. They're literally changing their species' way of being through this new ritualized harm they've just invented. These have been just predators, and now it's scary watching them be learners and thinkers, scientists. You know, Colt is like Gon. Colt has a kind of curiosity and ambition like Gon. Colt telling Rammot, punch me as hard as you can. I want to see what happens. That's exactly what Gon would say. Both of them just want to understand everything. They want to prove everything. And they will both risk bodily harm for insight and for their goals. Rammot, he's the opposite of Colt. Two total opposites. Colt wants to understand. Colt wants insight. Colt is curious. Rammot wants power. Rammot wants cruelty. Rammot is bloodthirsty. Colt wants to understand. Rammot wants power. Colt is curious. Rammot is bloodthirsty. That's it right there. But the main part of this episode, Kite, Gon, and Killua. Kite's N is able to detect the Chimera Ants observing and spying on them. Right even to the moment they are spotted, Kite looks up directly at them. That quick look up, dead in the eyes of the Chimera Ant who spotted him, was so good. Gon and Killua don't notice until they're already surrounded. Kite was already clocking them. He can sense a great number of them. They're outnumbered. Then out of nowhere, they all come falling out of the sky and landing all around them. The first words they speak to Kite, Gon, and Killua are, let's decide order and methodology. You have 3 choices. Decide the order in which you'll fight, attempt to escape, surrender and let yourself be captured. If you choose one, you will fight one-on-one with us for a chance to survive. And Kite is like, we couldn't have asked for a better deal here. One-on-one fights with their captains? Yes, please. What the hell are they thinking? Okay, first, they don't even know we just murked 3 of y'all in the drug factory like it was nothing. And also, what is this? Theater? Staging a duel tournament? Ants don't attack one-on-one. You guys are a horde colony. Has your queen really eaten that many humans that you've all become too human for your own good? Human traits have overtaken and overwritten your original traits. You now have pride and ego, individualism. You care about reputations and personal glory. You now seek spectacle and fun. Instead of attacking together like an ant colony would, you want to form a ring in the center and fight one-on-one like this is UFC or boxing? Like Kite said, they've lost the unity that's characteristic of ants. The ants are getting stronger, yeah, but they're acquiring so many human traits along the way, human quirks and idiosyncrasies, human pride and human ego, human desires. And what's very poetic, ironic, and deep about all that is that as the Chimera Ants become more human, our boys Killua and Gon will be pushed to become more inhuman in order to counter them. That's also why they couldn't have asked for a better deal. One-on-one matches allow Gon and Killua to practice and train. And I love how the fights felt like Heaven's Arena and Trick Tower combined. Trick Tower, Heaven's Arena, those one-on-one matchups, talking amongst one another in the group, choosing who goes first, fighting to the death, whoever dies first. But Gon doesn't want to fight to the death. He wonders why it can't be the first to just surrender. He doesn't want to have to kill. He isn't afraid of losing and dying. He knows he'll win, but he doesn't want to have to kill. He's talking to a sentient, speaking creature with a consciousness. Imagine how freaky that would be. But he humanizes with it. He doesn't see it as a mere beast or a monster. And even if he did just see it as an animal, Gon is an animal lover. He's an animal whisperer. He doesn't want to kill animals either, good or bad. Gon says there's no need for them to die. He's going out of his way to try and change his opponent's mind to let his opponent live. We are told and shown over and over, time and again, how Gon wants the world to be. He prefers games with clean conditions over death matches that have permanent sentences, permanent consequences. Like I said, he isn't afraid to die. He's afraid to step across that personal line for the first time, especially without any rhyme, rule, or reason to justify it. The Chimera Ants will show no mercy. Humans are garbage. They aren't killing humans to survive or to eat because they're threatened. They're killing humans because it's just fun. That's what Gon needs to hear. He needs things like this to get that mercy and that empathy and that hesitation out of his mind. Gon doesn't hate those who at least act under codes. Gon hates the gleeful, evil contempt for life. Gon doesn't believe in the celebration of cruelty. Gon is not soft. Gon can be gentle or sympathetic or merciful to enemies that show recognition or basic respect or honor, and he can likewise be utterly merciless to anyone who rejects these things, who rejects any possibility of honor or mutuality. But is Gon going to end up becoming someone who honors and then violates codes at the drop of a hat himself? The problem is that Gon's switch relies on clear signals for him to react to. The signals aren't going to be so clear moving forward. The actual fight itself, Armadillo balls himself up, charge rolls to Gon. Gon stops him like a brick wall, catches him. Armadillo's still rolling in his hands. He can't open himself up because Gon's bear hug is keeping his shell closed. Armadillo, dumbass, trapped himself in his own shell, and Gon bear hugs him to death, crushes his shell, pops him like a balloon. It's actually super ironic and twisted when you think about it. The boy who humanizes animals kills with the brutal, sick inversion of a hug, kills an animal by embrace, a smothering embrace. The same kind of embrace, the same kind of bear hug he would give to his fox bear friend. But that hug with the more gentle and with the intention of love, here it's a bear hug with the intention to crush and kill. And that is Gon's very first confirmed kill in this series. 83 episodes in, Gon's very first kill. Killua's turn up next against Rhino. I'm not even bothering to remember these people's names. I'm just going based off the animal they are. He's up against Rhino. And once Rhino called his fallen dead comrade trash, that was when the switch flipped in Gon's mind. They're not like us, human or not. Calling your ally, your comrade, whatever you want to call it, calling them trash, yeah, you don't deserve my mercy. You aren't worthy of life. You discard your own dead as garbage, yeah. You've stepped outside the circle that I need to show you mercy. That's done. Killua. He shows both his assassin and Nen abilities today. I love that. Against Rammot, showed his Nen abilities. Against Mosquito, showed his assassin abilities. Today, combination of the two. Rhythm echo. And then he whips the claws out. But he can't penetrate the thick hide of the Rhino. I thought he was trying to irritate the Rhino with the quick lightning attacks, rile him up so he does something stupid. or impulsive. Or I thought he was like testing if the lightning can even do anything to him. I didn't think he was trying to weaken the Rhino's hide little by little in that spot, until the spot he originally tried to rip into, until that got weak enough and it cracked, and he pulled the Jonas type move and shoved his arm into Rhino's chest cavity, blood splurting out the back. I don't even know what he did. If he crushed his heart, he didn't pull it out this time. Didn't taunt him with his own heart this time around, but maybe he just crushed it inside, or just a gigantic ass chest hole cavity. I don't know. But finally, Kite rolled a different weapon today. He spun a 2, and what appeared in his hand was a ginormous scythe, straight out of Bloodborne or Dead Souls or Elden Ring or something, looking like a From Software boss. He tells Gon and Killua, jump 3 seconds from now. Kite only has one move with this weapon, Silent Waltz, Grim Reaper's Dance. Amazing name. A massive 360-degree spinning slice attack. The swing so strong, the gust of the blade cutting through the air creates a tornado funnel. Kite said the scythe can only be used with this technique, and he must use Silent Waltz in order for the weapon to vanish. More conditions to make the weapon more powerful. Random spin makes it more powerful. Only one way to use the scythe makes it more powerful. And no matter what, you have to go through with the attack in order to get rid of it, or to be able to spin again. Makes it more powerful. Stacking conditions on top of each other. And again, my theory stands reasonable. The best weapon for this situation was that scythe. It was the right weapon to have in his hands for that encounter. Surrounded by dozens and dozens of enemies at once, it's your turn to fight. The clown decides, hey, the scythe would be best for this. It's out of Kite's hands. He can't choose. It's random to him. But the clown chooses. And so what is out of Kite's hands, the clown puts in Kite's hands. The weapon he should have. Not a gun, not a whatever else. The scythe was perfect. Crowd control. Yet Kite thought it was an unlucky roll again. At this point, are you just saying that? Are you just saying that to everything you get so that it increases your Nen contract or something and makes it more powerful? Because there's no way that scythe roll wasn't clutch as hell. And Kite still refuses to answer why he chose that Nen ability. Again, Killua and Gon ask him, why'd you choose crazy slots? If again, all he seems to do is complain about it. They've asked him the same question the last couple episodes. It's several times now that Kite has been asked, why did you even choose this to be your Nen ability in the first place? And he just ignores it. I find that interesting. Even more interesting, the toad Chimera Ant, right before he died. When Kite's scythe appears in his hands, just before Kite attacks, the toad says, what is this immense pressure? I've experienced this sensation before. And then as he's about to die, his last breaths, after being sliced in two, he exclaims, I remember now. This is death. Murder via overwhelming force. And we see a red-hued memory vision of the queen eating him. Clearly, that was a memory bleed from his past life. That's the first time we've seen that, correct? We know aura can literally change the air. Strong Nen users can flood a space with Ren and bloodlust killing intent that the body can sense and read. We saw this on Zevil Island. We saw this at Heaven's Arena. We saw this in Yorknu. So that's what that immense pressure was the Toad was feeling. But he said he's experienced that before. What happened in his past life? And is it a memory from his past life as a human or as an animal? The queen doesn't have Nen, so not that kind of immense pressure. But it was still killing intent. Or when the scales are so outmatched, a mere, small animal versus this queen eating you, that can also feel like immense pressure. What was it, the sensation of just impending doom from a creature so much larger and so much more fearsome than himself, that he was helpless and frozen, and it felt like that immense pressure on him, just similar to like in these final moments here with Kite. Was he a toad getting eaten by the giant queen, or was he a human getting eaten by the queen? I assume logically you only have human memories. I don't know if the animals have memories. He essentially experienced death twice. He died twice when that death wasn't really his. Or was it? Can he claim ownership or attachment to those past memories when he didn't really live them, even though they so strongly emotionally affect him? And I don't know what word to describe that they just so heavily affect him. And the very fact that they exist within him in the first place means that he has ownership of them. So when every Chimera Ant dies, I wonder if they all remember the same thing. If their previous life literally flashes before their eyes, including their past death, and they all experience a second death in that moment. If the last thing they see is the queen or whatever past deaths they experienced, her eating them is what created them. She was their origin. So it's very interesting. And again, Kite steps in as the mentor, teacher, father to Gon. Just like last episode, that firm teacher father grip when he grabbed Gon's wrist to tell him to not look away, to not move carelessly. Here, Kite tells Gon, if you start to sympathize with the enemy, you won't be able to handle what's coming. Kite is trying to instill these doctrines into Gon. Again, this is why Jing led Gon to Kite. Kite isn't condemning Gon's compassion in general. Kite isn't trying to get rid of Gon's humanity. Kite is a compassionate individual himself. He wants Gon to recognize that his future battlefields are going to punish even millisecond hesitation. You see these ants talking like us, behaving like us, imitating us. These ants are becoming us, becoming learners, not just pure instinct predators. It's not just human versus beast, very black and white. Things are about to get ambiguous and confusing and very complicated. I know you operate on clear signals. I wonder if Kite's almost like thinking like very much like his dad. But you can't wait for loud signals in your ear. Killua's kind of the opposite. Kite hasn't had much to say in Killua's direction at all. Killua, he starts off understanding and accepting the lethal necessity. He then works from that starting point towards optimization and efficiency, really hones it in. Killua doesn't need a loud moral signal. He just needs the calculation worked out in his head. He just needs the equation solved. He simplifies the equation. Gon is warm. Killua is economical. Kite's not saying one is better than the other. Don't swap one way of being for another. He's saying keep both. Make sure you're both. He's naming the exact weakness we've known for a very long time now that enemies can exploit. And we see Kite is trying to teach the student who needs it most, Gon. Keep your light, but don't let it blind you. That's it. Keep your light, but don't let it blind you. Gon says he doesn't have sympathy for bugs who call each other trash. Okay, well, what if you come across Chimera Ants who don't even look like bugs, first of all, who look scarily, uncannily human, and who do have such human traits like loyalty and care for their comrades? What then? What if you come across Colt, who's now a fucking Nen user? You saw him rescue Rammot from you and Killua as he was about to die. That's loyalty and care. And now he's a Nen user. Are you gonna sympathize and hesitate when you have to fight Colt, for example? I don't know. Dangerous view. That's what Kite says. And that's what I'm worried about in this arc. I'm very worried about Gon. But that is the end of today's discussion. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and let me know, and subscribe if you're not already to keep in the loop here. Keep the conversation going down in the comments, and check out my Patreon if you're interested in exclusives, early access, unedited reactions. Having said all that, and with that said, so long, farewell, until next time, thank you, have a good one, peace.